Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Kristaps Porzingis out tonight for the Knicks against the Magic. No Kevin Durant for Golden State against the Wolves. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set.
Just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Good evening, Clemson Tiger Nation. Gamecocks, Bulldogs, Yellow Jackets, and Seminoles peeking over the fence at the Hurry Up No Huddle Sports Talk Express. Lawton Swan, Lowell, the producer extraordinaire, sitting across from me here in studio, making our way towards the weekend. It's what it's all about. Weekend. Football games all over the place, folks, this weekend. We're going to talk about that. Harold Dutch Coleman coming up in about 19 minutes, in about an hour. You're going to love this. Way Back Wednesday with Sam Blackman. With Sam B, it's a guarantee. He's going to take you way back when. And, of course, the Clemson Tigers coming up against the Florida State Seminoles. Our first look at the Noles up on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Also, Orange Britches. Head over there right now. You can be a part of the, dare I say, Society of Clemson Sports Talkians for just $49.95 for the entire year. Discounted rate right now. Not much longer, though. But we'd love to have you be a part of what we're doing on Twitter, at Clemson Sports, where over 16,000 people follow us and get their news, notes, information, and more from the show that shakes the Southland. Lowell, the producer, looking silky smooth in a nice purple Clemson Sports Talk polo today, joins us. Lowell, what's going on, my man?
Bada boom. Realest champs in the room. How you doing?
It's Wednesday, but it's felt like Thursday all day to me. So that's the week I'm having. Tomorrow feels like it should be Friday.
Well, is that because you think it's going slow, or it's just been so exciting and fun that it feels like it's just flying by?
The fact that I knew I was walking in here for the Wednesday edition of the show kind of made me a little down, because I felt like it was the Thursday, which meant the Friday weekend was coming, which meant Clemson and Florida State was that much closer to taking place. That's the general consensus, or the general feeling I can give you on the topic. Lots going on in the world of sports. Lots of college football out there. We've got Lowell's, the college sports corner. Did we review your locks of the weekend on Monday?
We talked about them briefly.
That's the kind of week I'm having. I can't remember.
We mentioned them.
What's that stuff you could take back in the day to get your brain right? Ginkgo biloba or something like that?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. It was the big thing back when you were a kid. Your parents probably took some of the ginkgo biloba.
And I'm sure it was nothing.
Can you look that up? Ginkgo biloba?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a result on that. I'm not even sure how to spell that.
It's ginkgo. Typical spelling.
Oh, ginkgo. That's a word that...
Biloba or something.
Oh, look at that. I put in ginkgo and there it is.
What's it called?
How about that?
Give it to me. Give me the
ginkgo biloba.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
No, biloba. Biloba.
Yeah, I need some of that.
Biloba.
I think I need that. Ginkgo biloba. Am I mispronouncing it?
You're saying blah. B-L-A. There's no L before the A.
Ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo biloba.
God.
Biloba.
Oh, like bilo.
There you go.
I need some ginkgo biloba. Ginkgo biloba.
Biloba.
Ginkgo biloba.
There you go.
I need that.
Fragile.
Could you tell me? Great reference, by the way. Christmas on its way. What exactly is ginkgo biloba? Biloba. Biloba?
Biloba.
By ginkgo biloba. This is
this the new LSU Louisville?
I can't say the word.
It's like Bilo,
Bilo.
Buh.
Biloba. Ginkgo Ginkgo biloba. How's that? Did I do it? Ginkgo biloba.
No, you didn't. You still didn't do it.
You gotta be kidding me. All right, so what does this stuff do? Maybe that's why I can't say it. Maybe that's why I need some.
I'm kind of perusing the Wikipedia.
It has something to do with your brain, right? Perhaps if I took some ginkgo biloba, I'd be able to say it.
Has various uses in traditional medicine and as a source of food. Let's see. Dietary supplement. Was marketed to improve cognitive function.
Aha! If I had it, I could pronounce it.
There is no scientific evidence for effects on memory or attention in healthy people.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Low college football, though, that's what people tune in to hear, not me trying to pronounce ginkgo biloba.
Please tell me you're joking.
I say it one more time.
Ginkgo.
Yeah.
Biloba. Biloba. B-I-L.
Ginkgo biloba.
There you go. Beautiful.
I need to get some ginkgo biloba.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Ginkgo biola. I cannot do it.
This is incredible.
I can't do it. I wish I was joking, but I am not. I am seriously not joking. All right, so college football this weekend. Lots of big matchups in the world of college football. 803-978-1832. By the way, not only that, but you can chat over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. What's disappointing, Lowell, about this weekend's game between the Tigers and the Florida State Seminoles is the fact that, in all fairness, this should have been one of those great games, right? This should have been one of those games where the eyes of college football are on Clemson. This was going to be for the Atlantic Division of the ACC. This was going to be for the marbles of potentially getting into the college football playoff. At the beginning of the year, this was Florida State. Can they run the table, win, lose, or draw against Alabama and get back and face off with Alabama in Mercedes-Benz Stadium back in Atlanta? This has turned into Florida State having to schedule an additional game on the ACC championship game day to simply find their way into a bowl game, maybe.
Which, by the way, is, I put it out on Twitter, that's the saddest thing that's happened to them this season. Just even with everything that's gone on, that's probably sadder than anything else.
That they feel compelled to do it,
right,
or that they have to do it?
Both.
I would agree with that. It is a sad scenario for the Florida State Seminoles that that's sort of what they've had to resort to. They could still qualify without that, but you got to beat Clemson as a part of making your way towards the bowl, towards bowl eligibility. What's the bottom bowl for the Atlantic Coast Conference? I mean, I know for the SEC for years it was like Shreveport. You want to go to Shreveport? No, thank you. We'll just stay home for the holidays.
Be careful talking about Shreveport.
What do you mean?
Tim Brando does not appreciate it.
Timmy B? Well, I get that. But can we at least admit the fact that there are much more exciting bowl venues that people would like to go to? If Shreveport were the place to be, it would be number one in the pecking order. Yes or no? Love Tim Brando, but the truth hurts about Shreveport.
All right, ACC bowl tie-ins.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Not getting anything?
Birmingham Bowl, but it's conditional if American Athletic or SEC can't fill the spot. St. Petersburg Bowl, conditional if American Athletic or Conference USA can't fill the spot. Then there's the Quick Lane versus the Big Ten, Military Bowl versus American Athletic, and Camping World Independence Bowl versus the SEC.
Okay, so essentially one of those bottom bowls that you just mentioned is not exactly where you're trying to get to, but it could end up being where Florida State ends up if they find a way to get to 6 wins. But in terms of college football games around the country, odd one here, going to be a noon kickoff on Fox between number 12 Michigan State and number 13 Ohio State. And Ohio State a heavy favorite in this game. First off, this is a top 13 matchup, Lowell, that's kicking off at noon. Matchups like this are typically reserved for 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock start times, not noon. But I think because of the Big Ten right now and how people foresee the Big Ten, I think that's part of the reason that this game is being played at noon. The other part, of course, because it's on Fox and they've got to find the time to plug it in, but Fox does play evening games as well. Odd timing for this game. The Big Ten, though, with Ohio State now with 2 losses, Michigan State sort of an oddball surprise to a lot of people. Ohio State a heavy favorite. I think we've discounted the Big Ten completely outside of Wisconsin getting into the college football playoff, but yet we've looked at maybe an Auburn with their schedule remaining against Georgia this weekend. We'll get to that momentarily, and against Alabama in a couple of weeks, and then maybe against Georgia again if they can find a way through. We've kind of pictured them as being the first 2-loss team to get in. Is there a possibility that there's enough chaos remaining that just crazy things could happen, so much so that Ohio State could ride a bump off of this win against Michigan State to, say, 11 or 10, then assume Wisconsin goes undefeated the rest of the way? Ohio State's also got a matchup against Michigan, maybe bumps them up to 8 or so. They go to the Big Ten championship and beat an undefeated Wisconsin team. Is there a chance that Ohio State, the Buckeyes, could maneuver their way back into the top 4? They have, we talk about what Auburn has remaining. I think you've got to acknowledge a win over number 12 Michigan State, a win over Michigan, and then potentially a win over Wisconsin, and being a conference champ with 2 losses. If enough crazy things happen, could Ohio State be there?
If enough crazy things happen. But the crazy things would have to be 2007-esque for Ohio State to make their way in the playoff. You're going to have 3, 4, 5 2-loss teams in contention for the college football playoff. It's just not going to happen.
Another matchup of top 25 teams. Oklahoma State, number 15, off of their loss. Oh, what a fireworks show that was. Scoring left and right between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State this past weekend. And then Iowa State sitting there at number 21. Oklahoma State going on the road. The Big 12's been shaking its core as well. Not really sure if anybody wants to rise to the top and win that league. But nonetheless, that's another top 25 matchup that'll be taking place this weekend. I believe there are, 7, Lowell? Is that right? 7?
Seven ranked versus ranked.
7 ranked versus ranked games coming up this weekend. The biggest and best, though, might be Georgia on the road, Jordan-Hare Stadium. The number 1 rated Bulldogs taking on the Auburn Tigers, number 10 Auburn Tigers. Again, we talked about them yesterday. They got the loss to Clemson, 14-7, and then they gave up a big lead falling to LSU earlier this season in one of the games that's just, if you go back and look at the box score, it is ridiculous to see how they've managed to lose. They fell off 27-23, though, the final score in that one for those two teams. All in all, though, as you sit here today, Lowell, and you think about that matchup, my goodness, the SEC, once again, whether it's Alabama at the top, whether it's Georgia at the top, right now they've got a tremendous opportunity ahead of them for the winner of this game, because if Georgia wins, you feel like they cruise into the SEC championship. And if Auburn wins, it feels like that door just opened up significantly for the Tigers to maybe become our first ever 2-loss college football playoff team.
And this is going to be a really interesting matchup to watch. It's strength versus strength. It's Georgia's running game against Auburn's defensive front. We're going to see if Jake Fromm can pass the ball consistently enough for Georgia to be successful offensively. I think right now you've got to say Auburn has the advantage at quarterback with Jarrett Stidham, and playing at home on the Plains, it's going to be a really tough test for Georgia.
Number 8, Wisconsin will entertain number 20, Iowa. Iowa, of course, just last week finding a magic bean. I don't know what else you'd say with what Iowa was able to do last weekend.
Which, by the way, is part of the reason why I don't think Ohio State has a chance.
Just simply because
they got crushed by Iowa.
The 55-24.
Right, and it's the same reason Penn State, the arguments against Penn State last year, they got crushed by Michigan, and that was important to the committee.
It's more about how they lost than losing.
Right, I think that's losing is never good. Getting crushed is really bad.
Well, there were a lot of people yesterday that weren't satisfied with the argument of why Clemson is still number 4 in the college football playoff over some teams that are undefeated. They said, look, we know Clemson's got great wins, but they have a loss. And teams like Wisconsin and teams like Miami don't have a loss yet.
Play somebody. And we'll see.
Iowa's going to go to Wisconsin. This could be Wisconsin's first loss, and maybe the elimination game. If you're eliminating, if you're somebody that believes that a conference can be eliminated right now, this could be it this week for the Big Ten. Can you imagine what that would mean for Iowa and what it would mean for Wisconsin and perhaps the entire Big Ten? And some of the conversations that we just had a few minutes ago kind of go poof. They kind of go bye-bye, you would believe, with Michigan State and Ohio State, because then a Wisconsin loss means that Big Ten championship game for Ohio State or whoever ends up winning that side of the league doesn't have the same zest as it does if you're facing an undefeated Wisconsin ball club. Also, number 2, Alabama. They'll go on the road to Mississippi State. We talked about this matchup yesterday just a little bit. One thing that's unique about what you've seen in the top 4 of college football, and we've got into this late last week, and I think it's going to become more and more of the storyline of what Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Georgia all like to do. It's rush the football and play great defense. Here's a scenario where Alabama's strength rushing the football goes up against a Mississippi State team at home that has a chance with the crowd and the environment to maybe get Alabama a little bit discombobulated, a little bit out of sorts, out of sync, out of rhythm. And if you can do that to Alabama and you can put them in a bit of a hole, you get up on Alabama 14-3. Make them sweat a little bit. Make Jalen Hurts earn it. Make them throw the football to catch up. You can take Alabama away from what they want to do.
Mississippi State was able to stop LSU running the football. They have athletes in their front 7. They can make things very interesting. And here's another thing I would look at. Mississippi State's offense uses a lot of misdirection, a lot of play action, a lot of that eye candy that we like to talk about.
Yeah.
Young linebackers for Alabama.
Number 3, Notre Dame's at number 7, Miami. Number 6, TCU's at number 5, Oklahoma. Think about that. The top of the polls this weekend. You talk about a major shakeup potentially taking place. It absolutely could. We'll talk with former Clemson Tiger Harold Dutch Coleman and former co-host of Alabama's with Qualk and Dutch on 105.5 The Roar when we return.
Hello, this is Linda McMahon, head of the U.S. Small Business Administration. As we enter the holiday shopping season, I encourage you to join me in celebrating Small Business Saturday on November 25th. That's the Saturday right after Thanksgiving. Support the small businesses that make your community unique. Shop at your favorite local stores or discover new ones. Join me by getting out there to shop small on November 25th, Small Business Saturday.
At Columbia Metropolitan Airport, easy is getting wherever you need to be with the convenience of leaving right from your hometown. So next time you need to get to Chicago or anywhere else in the world, check us first and fly with ease at CAE.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Friday night, December 1st at the Music Farm in the Vista. It's our first annual Carolina Christmas at the Farm with Josh Turner.
Yeah, it's all about you.
Only $12 in advance and $15 for under 21 with a limited number of VIP tickets. So log on now before they're gone. 97.5 WCOS.com. Keyword Farm. Friday night, December 1st. A Carolina Christmas at the Farm with Josh Turner from MCA Nashville, Adams Bookstore, Midlands Volkswagen, Amazon Fulfillment, Harley Haven, Bedlam Vodka, and 97.5 WCOS.
Brakes for less is what we do. We know drums, rotors, pads, and shoes. If there's a squeal in your wheel, come see the best. 254 Stop. Brakes for less. 254 Stop.
Brakes for less.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the keyword BANK to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeart Radio info. Standard data and message rates apply. That's BANK to 200-200.
ACC, we run it out, but it ain't enough, we won it out. Better watch out for the D-line, if y'all boys wanna run the ball, and if y'all boys wanna pass it too, I suggest you hold up, you must ain't seen that secondary, yeah boy, we so tough, can't you tell that we ballin', and these boys can't hold us back, 81 championship, and best believe we going back, Clemson, we all in, one team with one dream.
We're on the quest for the best, and we can't let anything hold us back.
These boys can't hold us back.
Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands, the iHeart Radio app, Fox Sports Radio 1019, 1050 AM, Myrtle Beach, Conway. Harold Dutch Coleman stepping into the building here to talk with us for a few minutes. Dutch, welcome in. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing today?
You know what? Always good, and of course with Clemson's 38-31 victory at NC State, I was definitely feeling much better, especially given the fact that the Tigers trailed for the majority. I think the entire first half, actually, outside of when the game was knotted up. But other than that, you know, they come from behind, they win on the road, and a little shot of confidence, perhaps, for the Tigers.
Absolutely. I think sometimes you're going to have that in a long season. You know, everything's not going to go as smoothly as possible, but what Clemson needs to continue to do is collect W's. That's all you can do sometimes.
You know, looking at it, Dutch, the College Football Playoff Committee's rankings came out yesterday. The Tigers are still number 4. Every team, though, from 1 through 6, except for Clemson, this weekend is matched up in a battle against an opponent that's ranked in the top 25. Number 1, Georgia at number 10, Auburn. Number 2, Notre Dame at number 2, Alabama at number 16, Mississippi State. Number 3, Notre Dame is at number 7, Miami. And number 6, TCU's at number 5, Oklahoma. If Florida State had held up their end of the deal, this may have been the best weekend ever for like the top 6, 7 teams, 8 teams in college football.
No question, and I think that would have been true from a historical standpoint. I mean, that's enough right there, what you already listed. If you do add in a Clemson, that's a top 4 team, and then you add in Florida State, who's traditionally a top 5 team, top 10 team in the very least, you would have an epic weekend. But, again, we don't, and it's largely due and only due to Florida State.
Well, the other games are epic, that's for sure. When you look at them, Georgia at Auburn, again, Alabama's at Mississippi State, Notre Dame, number 3, at Miami. The top 3 teams all going on the road here late in the season. Which of those teams most likely to fall coming up Saturday, in your opinion?
Man, that's a tough one. Oh, that's a tough one. Looking at this season so far, somebody's falling. I think the man, you know what? I don't know. I think the Auburn-Georgia matchup is probably the most intriguing for me in terms of a possible upset. I think we know less about Georgia than these other teams. I think we feel a little more confident about some of the other teams. With Georgia, we just hadn't seen much. We've seen the one true test, but outside of that, I think that's the team that we're curious to see more from, and I think it's a great matchup with Auburn.
You take a look out at the Big Ten. I know you're right there in the heart of Big Ten country. Penn State, back-to-back losses, a big surprise for that team. But James Franklin goes running down runs his players down after that Michigan State loss, turns them around, and he takes a quote from Dabo Swinney. I don't know if he meant to do it or not, but he said, we're going to win with class, we're going to lose with class. This is a coach I've been critical of quite a bit. Your thoughts, though, on the move that he made and in doing so and what that says about his program and the direction they're headed?
I think no matter what's been said in the past, that was a great example of what people need to be doing and how athletes and people in general need to be behaving. Him saying that is basically saying that he saw something over the past couple of weeks. He's been seeing something with his team. Maybe it's overconfidence. Maybe it's, like, again, reading your press clippings and kind of feeling yourself. And sometimes you need a loss or two in this case and to kind of set you right. And maybe when he saw the kids walking off, that epitomized exactly what he's been seeing. And he said, no, this is an opportunity to stop that. You're going to, you've been blowing yourself up all week at how great you are for this whole season. Now you're going to lose with class too. And I think that's a great lesson moving forward. I think he expects to have good teams moving forward. And when you set that standard now, it can only help you in the future.
Dutch, when you look at the college football playoff rankings and where they are today, there are several conferences left out. Okay, the Pac-12's left out right now, the top four. The Big Ten's left out, and the Big 12. You've got two SEC schools, Notre Dame and Clemson. What do you think it looks like at the end? It's a long way to go. How many conferences get left out this year, and is this going to be the season where we finally look back on the playoff committee and maybe the fans go, hey, we've got to have more people in?
I think that is going to happen. The latter, what you just said, that will happen eventually if the money's right. Everything's about the money because, we were going to never have a playoff in the first place.
I remember those days.
Right? And then the money got right, and then everything changed. So I think what you just said will change as soon as they figure out the money. But I think it'll end up being one ACC, one SEC. I think Notre Dame may end up in. I'll know more about Notre Dame after this weekend myself with Miami. I got to see a little more from Notre Dame. We'll know, but I think it's going to work itself out. One conference, major conference, will be left out. There will not be two SEC teams in there. I do not think they'll keep Georgia and Alabama. I think Alabama will roll over Georgia, and I also think that in any case, the only way that will happen with respect to the other commissioners is if Georgia was to somehow upset Alabama, and I just don't think that will happen. I don't think they would keep a Georgia in there without causing extreme chaos within the system. These guys know each other. These commissioners know each other, and I don't think they would stand for and especially in a year where Notre Dame's good, and that could be the third spot, and then you can have one spot left for three major conferences.
Is there a chance in your mind that Miami wins out to the ACC championship game, gets beat late by Clemson, and somehow stays in at the Tigers? Maybe some chaos this weekend, move up to one, and Miami creeps in, and it's a top three matchup in the ACC championship. Does the ACC have an outside chance of getting two teams in?
I just don't think so. I think when that, in order for that to happen, there has to be some sort of prerequisite overemphasis of the team, and I don't think Miami's received that this year. Kind of what's happening with Georgia. Even though Georgia hadn't played anyone, but they played one team at one point, they were getting the prerequisite fanfare from the nation, right? Miami hasn't been getting that. They're Johnny come lately to the party, so I don't think they would have a loss to Clemson would keep them all the way at the top. I just don't think that will happen.
On Twitter, he's at the Dutch Coleman. It's Harold Dutch Coleman joining us each and every Wednesday evening to talk a little bit of college football. Dutch, let me ask you, how are you adjusting? We got about a minute to 280 characters on Twitter. It's a big problem for me.
I tell you what, it's a little weird. In some cases, it helps, because you had a lot to say, but in other cases, you just say one sentence and you're like, oh man, I just wasted that one. But it's all good. I think it was great. I think it was great to have as an option. Hopefully I won't be using it too much, or people probably unfollow me.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at @TheDutchColeman. Dutchman, we'll talk to you real soon.
Take care, buddy.
Outside chance. You know, it's going to take a lot of work for Miami and Clemson to maybe pull off the dueling ACC teams in the college football playoff. It will be tough. I'll tell you this, though. This weekend could go a long way towards adjusting that, though. If Georgia were to lose at Auburn, if Notre Dame – I keep saying Notre Dame – if Alabama were to lose at Mississippi State, maybe that's just what do you call that? Where is that like a Freudian slip or something? Where I'm thinking Alabama, but I don't mean Alabama, or I'm thinking Notre Dame, but I don't mean Notre Dame. Anyway, Alabama could lose at Mississippi State, and if Notre Dame gets beat by Miami, all of a sudden the Tigers are moving up to 1, you would believe, and the Hurricanes would probably be number 3 there. It would be crazy. We'll be right back.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Howdy, folks. Colonel Sanders from KFC here with some real news. My delicious, world-famous original recipe fried chicken is available at a KFC near you. It has been and will be until the end of time. No matter what's happening in the world, you can trust that my original recipe chicken is always made with 11 herbs and spices. Many unnamed sources agree. It's delicious. Get it in a KFC $10 chicken share and enjoy it with a friend. KFC, it's still finger-licking good. Limited time offer at participating KFCs. Prices may vary. Tax and substitutions extra.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan. With quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Tonight, plenty of clouds with rain picking up after midnight and lows dipping down to the upper 40s. Tomorrow, early rain and then quieting down later in the day and highs in the upper 50s. For Channel 25, ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.org. Right now, there's a girl in India who has dreams bigger than her village. Right now, there's an elder in Guatemala who dreams of a life of greater dignity and less loneliness. You can help change the future of one person in a single moment. Begin the change at Unbound.org.
You've heard about podcasts, but maybe you didn't know where to start. iHeartRadio is making podcast listening easy. Just open the free iHeartRadio app and tap podcasts. There you'll find hand-picked collections of our favorite podcasts to help you get started. The biggest names in podcasting, like the Bill Simmons Podcast, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and so many more. All available for free. Now, your favorite radio app can be your favorite podcast app. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
You're listening to Clemson Sports Talk with my dad, Lawton Swan, on Fox Sports Radio 1400 and on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, we're moving on up to the side, to the deluxe
Oh, yeah, the Tigers might be moving on up this weekend. Again, those 4 games, this is an incredible statistic. Georgia at Auburn, Alabama at Mississippi State, Notre Dame at Miami, and number 6 TCU at number 5 Oklahoma. That means number 1, number 2, number 3, conveniently Clemson at number 4, not there. Number 5, number 6, and number 7 play in those 8 games. Excuse me, in those 4 games. In those 4 games where there are 8 teams playing, 6 of them are in the top 7 in college football right now. That's incredible. And I'm telling you, as I mentioned before the break, if Clemson and Florida State were what it was supposed to be, this may very well have been a weekend where there were 5 games, and I think you could easily make the argument that it would have been 5 games with perhaps 8 or 9 teams in the top 10 playing each other. That's how crazy it is. Let's not forget Auburn's at number 10. So the only teams not involved in this fatal 4-way weekend where there are 8 teams, again, number 1, Georgia, number 2, Alabama, number 3, Notre Dame, number 5, Oklahoma, number 6, TCU, number 7, Miami. The only teams missing are 8, 9, and 4. Your Clemson Tigers. That's a wild weekend, ladies and gentlemen. That is an absolutely incredible weekend of college football. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this. Clemson's not there. Wisconsin's not there. Washington's not there. Of the rest of the top 10, they're all mentioned in those 4 games. Sit back, relax, and think about that for a minute. Do you recognize, and again, college football is a funny sport. You like to be the home team, don't you? Isn't that something that you kind of feel like being the home team's a good check mark in your box before a game? Just playing at home. Just bringing the Bulldogs into Jordan-Hare Stadium. Just bringing Notre Dame to Miami. Well, we don't want to talk about Miami Stadium. Not a lot going on there. Can be very, very... Is that Hard Rock Stadium still? Isn't that what they call it, Hard Rock?
I think so. Everyone's out at the beach, though.
Everyone's out at the beach. And you got to go into Cowbell City, Stark Vegas, if you're the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, Clemson's sitting there at number 4, and again, with a loss. So it doesn't mean that a Georgia loss or an Alabama loss would necessarily mean that either of those teams would fall under Clemson, by the way. But if they did, if all 3 lost, Clemson could be number 1 next week. With a win over Florida State, it's not like this incredible reach to believe that that could happen. The Tigers could be moving on up. Those are very good teams that are all playing, and I'm not sure there's one there outside of perhaps Alabama that I go, yeah, that team won't get beat this weekend. I don't feel like Mississippi State's going to beat Alabama. You could sell me Auburn beating Georgia. You could sell me Miami beating Notre Dame. And you could sell me TCU going on the road and beating Oklahoma perhaps. It's a tougher sell for me to believe that Alabama loses. But can they get beat? Absolutely. That would be my least likely to lose.
Better slate of games this week or week 2 of this season, in which you had Oklahoma at Ohio State,
Clemson and
Auburn at Clemson, Georgia at Notre Dame. In hindsight, that was a pretty good week of football.
Who'd Alabama play week 2? Because they had played Florida State the opening week, so they probably played...
They played Fresno State.
Crush you. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, this is probably it because, one, the marbles that are on the line.
I mean, you think about it now, arguably the biggest game of the season at this point was that Georgia-Notre Dame game. Because that's the one argument for why Georgia's number one and why Notre Dame's in the top four is that game right there. The fact that Georgia won it and Notre Dame only lost it by one.
Now, there is that scenario that I presented as well. Georgia could get beat by Auburn and Alabama could get beat by Mississippi State and conceivably could stay ahead of a team like Clemson in the college football playoff rankings. You tell me, what's the worst loss? Losing to Syracuse or losing to Mississippi State or Auburn on the road? It doesn't. I mean, you don't have to take, you don't have to be a brain surgeon to figure this out, or a rocket surgeon either. One way or the other. One thing is this, though, and what we don't know is how much emphasis does the College Football Playoff Committee put on Kelly Bryant's injury and the loss? Because conceivably, you could believe that because Kelly Bryant was not only injured but playing injured, that's why Clemson lost the game.
That was specifically mentioned by Kirby Hocutt as part of the reason why Clemson was still in the top four.
A week ago, right?
Right. When the initial poll came out.
Is it conceivable that you could say the Tigers okay, so every team has losses. Every team has players injured, so on and so forth. But is it conceivable that the committee could sit there in a room and go, Clemson would not have lost that game with a healthy Kelly Bryant. So we're not even going to hold that loss against them. We're going to treat it like they're undefeated. We're going to treat them like they didn't even play that game. Like, if a hurricane had been coming to the state of South Carolina, if you look at what was the game that didn't get played? It was supposed to be played it was Miami, right? Wasn't Miami supposed to play a game in like Arkansas against Arkansas State?
Right.
And they didn't play it? So conceivably, in a hypothetical situation, a hurricane could have been coming to the state of South Carolina, and Clemson could have not played Syracuse, and they would not have a loss right now. Now, they did play it. They did get a loss, but depending on how much the College Football Playoff Committee emphasizes Kelly Bryant's health in that loss and why Clemson lost, could ultimately mean it's almost like that game didn't even get played in their eyes, which is ridiculous in some respects, but it might be helping your Tigers.
Heading into the holidays, everyone could use a little extra cash in hand.
And what would you like?
So we're giving you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand 16 times every weekday. Just listen to win $1,000 every hour. Weekdays between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Fox Sports Radio 1400.
Sometimes you need honest advice. Sometimes you need to talk things out. Sometimes you just need to grumble and whine. Whether you need a shoulder to cry on or someone to lean on, you get more out of life with a little help from your friends. And guess what? You get more out of life with a little help from your health plan, too. For federal employees in South Carolina, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Service Benefit Plan provides just the right combination of benefits, options, and network providers with worldwide coverage. To find out how you can get more out of life, go to fepblue.org and get a little help from your health plan.
When a community grows, its hospital should grow too. And that's just what we're doing at Lexington Medical Center. We recently launched the largest hospital expansion project in South Carolina history. Our new 10-story patient tower will help us take better care of patients, including the tiniest infants who need special attention. It will also make room for the growing number of patients who need surgery and intensive care. At Lexington Medical Center, our mission to serve our community never wavers. We're here when you need us today, and we'll be there when you need us tomorrow.
This is Bob. Bob is going to shop for a diamond. Bob finds a diamond online that's a few $100s cheaper than a local store. Bob is so happy he's saved himself some money. This is Mary.
Hello.
Mary's dating Bob. Bob comes over to Mary's house and pops the question. Mary squeals.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
And then says,
Wait, what's wrong with this diamond? It's yellow and has spots.
Bob is shocked. Mary runs away, never to be seen with Bob again. The moral to this story, don't be Bob. When you want the right diamond to pop the question for the love of your life, shop Satterfield's Jewelry Warehouse. Our consultants are trained to help you through the diamond buying process. They'll educate you so you can make the most important jewelry purchase of your life with confidence. Our goal is for you to find the perfect diamond that she'll cherish forever. And that's how you make sure your story has a happily ever after ending. Satterfield's Jewelry Warehouse, for life's every moment. Don't be Bob.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the 2016 College Football National Champion, Clemson Tigers.
I was trying to get it I live. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up, head spin. Get it, get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. Get it, get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get full-time father, full-time artist. Ex-guard, he said grind harder.
It is the show that shakes the Southland. Fox Sports Radio 1400, Fox Sports Radio 101.9, 1050 AM, Myrtle Beach, Conway. This weekend, I'm telling you, I think this is the best weekend we've seen in college football. The implications, the top, I mean, you've got the college football playoff rankings. Lola and I were discussing during the break a little bit about it, but the more I think about it, even if you go back to the beginning of the season, week 2, and it was a great week, some argue the best week we've seen in college football. The teams that are now playing in these games, and again, these are 4 matchups. 4. And in those 4 games, 6 of the top 7 teams are playing. 7 of the top 10. And these are teams in the College Football Playoff Committee's rankings. That's the other thing. These teams have earned their rankings where they are.
Let me put it a different way.
Sure.
Week 2 shaped the season more than any other week. Agree or disagree?
Maybe up until this point. But I feel like after this weekend...
Well, it depends on what happens, right?
Sure.
So let's say... See, this really throws it off. The Georgia-Auburn game really throws it off for either Georgia or Clemson here. Because if Georgia loses... Or let me put it this way. If Auburn loses, Clemson's best win takes a hit, right?
Yes.
If Georgia loses, they now have a loss, and they could lose in the SEC championship game to Alabama or Auburn if Auburn can beat Alabama, and so that Notre Dame win becomes meaningless. So it really kind of changes the storyline a little bit, but up to this point, okay, I agree with you. Up to this point, week 2 has shaped the season more than any other week. This week could have a pretty big impact.
Oh, man, it could be huge. I mean, it could literally rewrite the script of who Georgia is, who Alabama is.
It could change who Clemson is.
Sure. I think Clemson has been somewhat affected by who Louisville is.
And Virginia Tech losing did not help.
Well, you know what's funny about Louisville? I mentioned about timing being everything for Deshaun Watson. It's not even about timing. It's about marketability at the time and how your team is playing. You do realize that by comparison, statistically, the season that's being put together still at Louisville by reigning Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson, if his team were winning, if his team were more well thought of, he would be in contention. Nobody's talking about him at all. At all. Last year his team was winning. Everybody was talking about him. This season he is not winning, and nobody. When's the last time somebody said, you know who might be in the running for the Heisman Trophy? How about Lamar Jackson? Have you heard anybody say that lately, Lowell?
You got to win.
You realize he's thrown for 2,800 yards already this season, completing 60.4% of his passes. 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's been sacked half as often. Comparatively speaking, he is better this year than he was last year.
Now, is he better this year, or is he having to do more this year?
All I know is the numbers. He's 700 yards away from passing for more yardage. He's got to get about 12 touchdowns in the final 4 weeks or so of the season for him. More than doable through the air. Let me give you his rushing numbers as well, because I know everybody's going to want to know that too. Last season, he rushed for 1,571 yards. This season, he's rushed for nearly 1,100 already. He needs about 400 more yards rushing, about 700 more yards passing. And he's going to statistically be better than he was last year. Less interceptions. He's got a ways to go on the touchdowns. But it is conceivable that Lamar Jackson could have a better 2017 season statistically than 2016. And because his team is not winning, and in fairness, what'd they finish last year? 8-3, 8-4?
I know they lost, their last 3 games of the season?
Yeah, I can't remember if they were 8-3 or 8-4. If they win out
9-4.
9-4. If they win out, and I don't know if they will, do you realize they would be 9-4? If they can close the season winning against Virginia, Syracuse, and Kentucky, and then winning a bowl matchup, conceivably they'd be 9-4. He'd finish, instead of with 3 consecutive losses, 4 consecutive wins, better stats, better numbers, and not a Heisman Trophy.
I'll tell you what hurts him, winning it last year. Because I think there were a lot of people, after what happened between Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson, who kind of had a little bit of buyer's remorse, and so they kind of wrote Lamar Jackson off for this year.
Can you believe that? Not that they wrote him off. It is conceivable today at 6:54 in the p.m. on November the 8th that Jackson finishes the season better statistically in passing yardage, rushing yardage, touchdowns, wins, the momentum, everything. Well, not wins, but equal wins. Momentum for sure. When's the last time you heard somebody say Lamar Jackson should be up for the Heisman Trophy right now? It's an incredible thing that we're looking at unfolding. I think the buyer's remorse argument or conversation, Lowell, might be legit. Might be a real thing. By the way, last season, if you're wondering about rushing touchdowns, 21. This season, he's at 14.
He still has not had the 4,000, 1,000, has he?
No, he went.
Is Deshaun Watson still the only player to do that?
Yes, if I recall, yeah, he did 3,500 through the air. He needs 1,200 more to get to 4,000 yards passing. He's already got the 1,000 rushing. He could do the 4,000. He just needs 1,200 more. He needs about he needs 1,200 yards. He needs about 300 yards a game passing. Still tough to do. But statistically, Jackson, on his way to maybe being better than last season, he's not even mentioned. Part of the reason is I bet you if you go 9 games into the season or 10 games in, wherever he is now, I bet he was a lot better at that point because he fell off late. We'll be right back with Sam Blackman in hour number 2.
Listen to what our customers say about their pit stop.
I'm in IT. I've been doing it for 26 years. I come to Pit Stop a couple of times a week. I get my gas, of course, and I normally go in and get a Starbucks Frappuccino. Oh, they're always great. They're really nice, always fast. I feel like the folks behind the counter know us when we come in, always friendly. Yeah, it's always clean. Sidewalks are always clean. Gas station facilities are always clean right here at the pump.
Want convenience without compromise?
Don't stop till you're at Pit Stop.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Experience not only our pools, hot tubs, and lazy river, but also our delicious on-site banana boat lounge and cafe, family game room, fitness center, banquet facilities, and much more. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
The Happy Honda Days sales event is going on right now at Honda of Columbia. And Jonathan, they're offering the lowest prices of the season on every new Honda.
Low prices, yes. Low payments and low interest rates too, Gary. Accord, Civics, Pilots, CRVs, HRVs, Odysseys. You name it, you can save big on it right now.
This event only happens once a year, and it's a great time to get a great deal on a new Honda.
'Tis the season to save at Honda of Columbia, your friendly family Honda dealer. Highway 378 at I-20 and HondaofColumbia.com.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I feel like if I didn't have anyone to push me, I wouldn't even bother to do it. I got one milestone down the drain, and now I got to work on the next. I see the future is really bright for me. I feel like it doesn't matter the age, as long as you go back and get it done. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
No one gets a diploma alone. You have more support than you realize. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400.
WCOS Columbia.
Available anywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app.
Fox Sports trending now.
The New York Knicks are about to tip it off with the Orlando Magic in Orlando, but there's going to be no Kristaps Porzingis tonight. He's been ruled out of the game because of an ankle and elbow injury. Warriors take on the Timberwolves tonight in Oakland. Warriors forward Kevin Durant could have missed that game. He's dealing with a thigh contusion. And Celtics forward Al Horford is in concussion protocol, so he won't play tonight against the Los Angeles Lakers. The latest comes to you thanks to TrueCar. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. New York Times says Cowboys owner Jerry Jones has hired an attorney to try and block a contract extension for NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. The Green Bay Packers today cut tendon Martellus Bennett, saying that he failed to disclose a medical condition. Seahawks have ruled safety Earl Thomas is doubtful for tomorrow's game against the Cardinals because of a hamstring strain. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set, just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's primetime right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan, Lowell, the producer, Sam Blackman, set to join us momentarily. You can listen to the program anytime, any place, anywhere through the podcast editions of the show that are available over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Or if you have an Amazon Echo or a Google Home device, you can listen live by simply saying the trigger phrase, listen to Fox Sports Radio 1400. Good to be on in the Midlands. Good to be on in the Grand Strand. And, of course, always good. And we didn't have him on last week because he was working soccer. Sam Blackman on the program. Sam, welcome back in, man. How are you?
Fine. How are you doing this evening, Lawton?
Well, we're doing great. Hate we missed you last week, but I know duty calls. I know that keeps you busy up there with Clemson and the soccer program. And, of course, we're glad, though, to have you back on the program. And, man, looking at this matchup this weekend, we were just talking about what this weekend could have been in college football had Florida State kind of held up their end of the deal based on where they were believed. You got Georgia going to Auburn. That's a number 1 versus number 10 matchup. You got number 2 Alabama versus number 16 Mississippi State on the road. You've got a number 3 Notre Dame at a number 7 Miami, a number 6 TCU at a number 5 Oklahoma. It could have been a number 4 Clemson and a number 7 Florida State or a number 8 Florida State for all we know.
Yeah, yes, you're exactly right. There's not a lack of good college football heading our way this weekend, and we all look forward to it. And of course, Lawton, it's amazing to me that it just seems like there's more and more games that are featured now. It's you can, no matter what time of day you turn on your television, whether it be noon, 3:30, or at night. There's always great football on, and that's what makes this fall so special. Being just watching college football, it's a great game, and it's just something always to look forward to, and that's the reason people look forward to it throughout the summer months.
I tell you, that's the sad part is June and July seem to take forever, and here we are, 9-10 weeks into the college football season, just out of the blue, man. It's really flown by, and you look at that matchup, Clemson and Florida State, there's some historical significance between these two teams. And you go back to when the Seminoles entered the Atlantic Coast Conference, they sort of reigned supreme for a long, long time. And for Clemson Tiger fans, that was a bitter pill to swallow.
Yes, it was. And it came after, the decade of the 80s. Clemson, had won 3 ACC conference championships in the late 80s. And then here comes Florida State, the new kid on the block, and they won 7 or 8 straight conference crowns, and it was hard for Clemson to get over that. And of course, Clemson won the ACC championship also, and I think it was 90. That's the last time Clemson won till Coach Sweeney took us to the ACC championship. So. It was, and it, like I said, it was, the change of coaches, etc., that just Clemson wasn't as competitive then. But Florida State has a great football program. They had great coaches, and Clemson and Florida State, the series isn't as old as a lot of our competitors or a lot of other teams that Clemson plays. But I was going to mention this to you tonight. There was a gentleman that played for Clemson in the 30s, mid-30s. His name was Thomas Irwin Brown.
Okay.
And he was from Florida. down there, and he came to Clemson, and he was, as a matter of fact, his hometown was let's see here, I have it written down. I was going to tell you it was Cross City, Florida.
Okay.
And he was a lineman, big tackle for Clemson, and he played basketball at Clemson as well. But he had a great career. He was named All-South at Clemson, which was a big honor and recognition for him and Clemson. And he went up to, and he coached at Reynolds High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I think he coached a little bit at Catawba College, assistant coach. But he got us a big break whenever he got to go back home to Florida, his home state of Florida, and coached at Leon High School. That's right there in Tallahassee, Florida. So he was coaching down there. And what's so ironic is he kind of entered private business a little later, but he was called upon to be Florida State's radio announcer. So he did that for a few years, and he also did some local high school broadcasts. But I just think it's very ironic that a Clemson graduate goes down to Florida State and becomes their football announcer. That's kind of whenever Florida State was getting their football program going, and their program is not that old. It used to be all female school there at Florida State, and but they started football. I want to say it was in the late 40s, but anyway, he started announcing the games, and then he was got into public service. He was the city. He served on city and county commissions, and he was a county commissioner, and he was big into county recreation and things like this. So he was a very well-known person around Tallahassee, and what they did, they built this big park down there. It's about a 255-acre park, and they named it. It's the biggest park, city park there in Tallahassee, and they named it Tom Brown Park.
Huh.
And I just found that so interesting that a Clemson gentleman went down and served and did a wonderful job. So Clemson graduates are everywhere, even in Tallahassee, Florida, serving the public and doing a good job. And he died in 1973. I think he had leukemia. But anyway, later that year they named this big new park after him. It's still a good park. I think it's about, like I said, about 255 acres, and it has all kinds of recreation opportunities for the citizens of Tallahassee.
You know what? That's a unique story, because you hear things like that, but you don't necessarily, I guess, know the ties between Clemson and then right there in the heart of your rival in some respects, Florida State, is that park named after, you said, Thomas Irwin Brown. Is that correct?
Tom Brown.
Tom Brown. Wow. Now, here's one that a lot of people might not know about this game, and it's not talked about a whole lot, oddly enough, and that's that Jimbo Fisher actually was a Clemson student for a semester and had committed, I believe, to play baseball for Coach Bill Wilhelm. Fisher's 50, so that would have been, what, in the mid-'80s or so?
Something like that. Maybe early 80s or so. That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he was there for one semester, and then went back to West Virginia and was a standout quarterback at a little small school called Salem College, but spent one semester in Tigertown. And oddly enough, you would have been there. I mean, I think you might be a little bit older, but you'd have been at Clemson.
Yes, I would have. And isn't that amazing? It's just it's a small world, and it's just amazing where people end up. You know, and I think it's designed for people to go certain places and to serve people and help out one another. But I just that's a pretty good honor to have a big municipal park named after you. That serves the citizens there at Tallahassee, and it was dedicated in 1977. And like I said, he was at Leon High School, and then he coached little leagues and things like this, and just must have been a good man. And they said he touched a lot of lives down there. And you know, Jess Neely was his college coach at Clemson, of course, being in the 30s, and so he came from good coaching. You know, coaches can really have a lot of influence over their athletes, you know. And I heard something the other day at the Rotary Club. This gentleman was speaking to us, and he said that Billy Graham once said that a coach can influence and touch so many lives in 1 year than most people do their whole entire lifetime. So a coach is very important in people's lives, you know, where it be a local youth coach or high school coach, college coach. So I just feel very fortunate that Clemson has someone like Dabo Swinney, who leads a good leader among our young people, and he teaches by the way he lives, his examples, and things like this. Just a wonderful influence on our young people. But I don't mean to get off track, but I was going to also tell you, too, I saw something years ago. Clemson played Florida State. I think the first time they played was in 1970. And then they played a couple of times in the mid-'70s, and they had a coach named Darrell Mudra, M-U-D-R-A, and he's in the College Football Hall of Fame now, but he was down at Tallahassee for just 2 years. He had a lot of success, you know, at Western Illinois, and then he came to Florida State, and he coached at Florida State in 74 and 75.
Okay.
But as a head coach, he would always stay in the press box and call the game from the press box. He was never on the sidelines. And I remember when that game was playing at Clemson, that's what you would read in the newspapers, was about this coach who would stay in the press box and coach the game from the press box. I guess he felt like he could see things better, and I guess that was his style, but it must have worked because, like I said, later on he became a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as a coach. And then he left Florida State. Didn't have too much success down there, but he went to Eastern Illinois and did a really good job, and then Northern Iowa and things like this. So he won over 200 career games. But like I said, at Florida State, I just thought that was so interesting. And Clemson defeated Bobby Bowden his rookie year. You know, that next year, I believe it was in 1976.
Okay.
Clemson beat them 15-12. I just thought that was interesting. And then, of course, Clemson has shared so many folks. You know, of course, we have a lot of, you know, coaches back and forth. You know, Rick Stockstill, who was the quarterback for Florida State. He was coach here at Clemson. And, of course, his brother was the receiver for Clemson. And then, of course, Coach Scott, you know, he coached at Brad Scott coached at Florida State, assistant coach, and then coach here at Clemson. So a lot of good people come from Florida State. You know, a great coach like Bobby Bowden, he'll produce a lot of good assistants who will become head coaches at other places and assistant coaches at other places. So you know, there's a good coaching tree there,
right?
And of course, and Tommy Bowden, you know, he was here at Clemson. So, and of course, that 1989 game was a good game. You know, Clemson went down there and you know, defeated Florida State, and that was a memorable game and whatnot. So, had a great series with Florida State. And of course, Punt Ruski was in '88. You know, very soggy, wet day that day, and then of course that took a lot of courage to call that play, that trick play.
Oof.
And it worked, and they beat Clemson, and then Clemson went down there and defeated them the next year. And I just think it's so wonderful that you know, it is good for the conference. I was glad Florida State got in the conference because it was, you know, added another good team in our conference, and it helped football a lot.
Sam Blackman here on Clemson Sports Talk. Sam, you talk about some of those ties. Of course, legendary defensive coordinator at Florida State. Mickey Andrews would have been at Clemson back in the late 70s as well. But the thing I wanted to ask you, I guess more of a personal kind of question with the battle between the Bowden Bowl years. Did you ever talk to Tommy Bowden? He comes on our show tomorrow, and we'll ask him for sure. But did you ever talk to him a little bit, when you're just kind of there relaxing and say, what's it like playing against your dad, coaching against your dad in games of that magnitude?
I didn't ask him about his father. I said, do you get a lot of advice from your father? Do you call him? And he said, oh, yeah. He said not only in coaching, but also in other areas. And, how I think when he first started being a head coach, I think he talked to his father about how to address the media and things like this, and what you should talk about, and I'm sure he was a great influence, and a good guide, if you will, for Tommy, and I'm sure too. I'm sure they bounced off a lot. He bounced a lot of things off of him. Would this play work? That play work? And especially when he was at Tulane and things like this. So I'm sure he spent a lot of time with them. But I used to talk to Coach Bowden. I said, I said, what do you do? Do you go home for Christmas? Y'all talk about football? And he said, yeah, we get on the subject a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, Sam. Yeah. I love it. Sam, one final question. I was at the Punt Ruski game, and I remember seeing it as vividly as it, like it just happened. Of course, I'm assuming you were in the press box for that game. What do you recall about the moments just after that play, and some of maybe whether it's Bob Bradley or Tim Beret or you guys after the game, just realizing it almost, you look back at it, it's almost like you got hoodwinked. I mean, it was like a magician's trick.
Yes, it was. It took a lot of, like I said, took a lot of courage to call that, because if it works, you're the greatest football genius in the world. If it fails, you people say, why in the world were you trying to run something like that? It's antiquated and all this kind of stuff. It's old-fashioned. Why did you try that? That would have never worked, and so on and so forth. But, yeah, I just remember I used to have to go down a little early. I used to go line up where the media would talk to the coaches and players, and I would go down early and make sure everything's set up for that. And I just remember coming out of the Clemson locker room, and I saw a Florida State man running down the sideline, and I saw another Clemson man behind him, and I think it was Donnell Wolford.
It was, yep, Donnell Wolford.
Donnell called him, and I just said, I wonder why that Florida State man's running like that. I said I thought they punted, and I just like, why is he running like? He must be really a good special teams player. Little did I know he had the football.
Wow.
Because down there you just couldn't see too much, but I did see him. But he had the football, and then of course Donnell called him. I think around the 2 or so, if I'm not mistaken, and then of course they kicked the field goal. That west end zone there, I just remember that, and then I was just thinking, what in the world has happened? I thought they were punting. What happened? So.
Yeah, I tell you, that's one, Sam, that I look back on that got away from the Tigers, and I always appreciate you joining us here on the Wednesday edition of the program to take a look back, man. Looking forward to talking to you this weekend and have you back on next Wednesday as well.
But yeah, just to sum it all up, it's just amazing, like we were talking about, where people end up, and the careers carry them. Like some go down to Tallahassee, some come to Clemson. It's just amazing where people do end up, and because of athletics, it really benefits a lot of people.
No, you're right. The ties between programs are unique in the world of college football. Sam Blackman here on Clemson Sports Talk. We're back in 3 on Fox Sports Radio.
At OPEX Columbia, we aim to inspire, empower, and challenge individuals to reach their highest potential. We take this mission very seriously and sincerely desire to help people achieve the goals they set out for themselves. OPEX Columbia is where you will excel no matter what your goal, whether that be health and wellness, body composition, or being a competitive athlete. We are conveniently located downtown across from the South Carolina Baseball Stadium. Contact us at opexcolumbia.com and mention this ad to receive 10% off your 3-part assessment.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Have you been thinking about sprucing up your yard, debating between pine straw or mulch? Call my friends at Carolina Turfgrass to get your yard looking as great as mine right now. I chose to go with pine straw this year, and it looks incredible. Carolina Turfgrass is conveniently located at 5400 Augusta Road in Lexington, and if you need your order delivered, they can take care of that too. In addition, Carolina Turfgrass carries a wide variety of turfs, including Centipede and Bermuda. For unmatched quality and service, call Carolina Turfgrass, 446-6525. Look for Carolina Turfgrass on Highway 1 in Lexington.
Heading into the holidays, everyone could use a little extra cash in hand.
And what would you like?
So we're giving you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand 16 times every weekday. Just listen to win $1,000 every hour. Weekdays between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Fox Sports Radio 1400.
Your shot at $1,000 now. Text the keyword WIN to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeart Radio info. Standard data and message rates apply. That's WIN to 200-200.
Weeknights, 6 to 8 p.m., Fox Sports Radio 101.9, 1050 a.m., Myrtle Beach, Conway, Fox Sports Radio 1400 on the iHeart Radio app here in Columbia. Lawton Swanlow, the producer, Sam Blackman dropping knowledge. I may have stumped him. I think at least he's missed one question. I got him with and I wasn't trying to stump him. I figured he was going to be all over it. I thought he was going to tell me about, give me his batting average during the first semester that Jimbo Fisher was on campus at Clemson playing baseball. That was probably the biggest shock. Not that Sam didn't know that he was there, but that Sam couldn't give me the stats.
Yeah, I can't believe Sam did not know that. I was pretty shocked by that.
Yeah. Of the two coaches, who would have thought that one of them that attended Clemson is Jimbo Fisher? A lot of people probably don't know that, but that's why you're listening to the show that shakes the Southland.
Now, how might have that worked out if Jimbo Fisher had stayed at Clemson?
Interesting.
It's something to think about.
Well, maybe he liked it on campus. Maybe if Dabo goes to Alabama.
Maybe Dabo ends up at Florida State.
Huh? Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Dabo to Bama in a couple of years. Fisher to finish up his career in Tiger Town.
Oh, well.
He just one request. Did he not wear his readers on the sidelines? Get some bifocal sunglasses. The readers make him look old. He's got glasses on his head, and then he's got readers on so he can look at his play sheet. Come on, Jimbo. Come on, Jimbo. Can you? I guess if you don't have, I mean, I've got 20/20 vision, so I guess I'm a little bit ignorant to this, but I guess you can't get a contact lens that'll do both. Is that not how it works? Have you noticed he'll have two sets of sunglasses on, Lowell? It's kind of a weird look. It's sort of a... Have you seen Back to the Future Part 2? When Marty goes to like 2050 or whatever in the future, or 2022 or what? No. 1955, 1985. He goes to 2015, Lowell. 30 years in the future. He went to 2015, lol. And people wore like double glasses like Jimbo Fisher on the sidelines. Perfectly acceptable attire. Never mind. Scratch that. How about this? You're sitting here today going up against the Florida State Seminoles, and everybody's expecting a blowout. Everybody's expecting Clemson to just blow out the Seminoles. Hard to believe. By the way, Dabo Swinney saying he got a text message from Dave Doran trying to put to bed the situation about Towelgate / laptop gate, all that. Our Sanders Sullivan was in Tiger Town momentarily. Or moments ago. That momentarily would mean in the future. By the way, Deshaun Watson had successful ACL surgery. That's a good sign for the franchise quarterback. Nuke Hopkins, though, staying in the NFL. I got a text message earlier today that said, why is Nuke so salty towards Clemson? People have been on Nuke quite a bit because he gives out Daniel High School during the games, when they're announcing the players. He gives out the high school, and a lot of guys do that. And I've never had a problem with it. I've always thought, man, wouldn't that be awesome if you made it into the pros, and instead of saying Clemson, you wanted to say Barnwell. Shelly Hammonds, who played football at Penn State, is really the only player from my hometown that's ever done anything significant in the NFL. Had Shelly Hammonds gone on TV when he was with the Minnesota Vikings, and when they came to him for the starting lineups, if he had said Barnwell High School, I can tell you this little warhorse's heart would have been pumping about 10 times faster than it normally does. I would have been fired up. So I don't mind when players do it, because I know that those schools don't get quote, shouted out all that often. But Nuke Hopkins was on a podcast with Arian Foster, running back of the Houston Texans, and said this about his college experience. My college experience, I felt like I was a redheaded stepchild, second receiver on the team. It was Sammy Watkins, then me. Sometimes I was third. I felt like I was supposed to be that guy, so I left school early. Hopkins went on to say, I left college after 3 years because I thought, what can this college do for me? What more can I do here? What more can I do for this college? I came out early, and a lot of people back home didn't agree with that because they wanted to win a national championship. But my family was still eating ramen noodles, so I had to get out. I feel like college is a Ponzi scheme. Even if you're not an athlete, it puts you in debt.
Even if you're not an athlete, especially if you're not an athlete.
Yeah, but isn't a Ponzi scheme where you don't get anything in return? Aren't you getting an education in return for your investment? I mean, if you compare college to a Ponzi scheme, wouldn't that mean everything is a Ponzi scheme? Oh, you want me to buy this Coca-Cola? How dare you? Oh, what? A car? Ponzi scheme. Right? Maybe my knowledge of Ponzi schemes is a little bit different than most people. I'm not the most knowledgeable. But shouldn't you not be getting something in return for your investment to make it a Ponzi scheme? Isn't that what a Ponzi scheme is? You invest, but you don't get a return because there's not a return? Lowell, how does a Ponzi scheme work? Any idea on that one?
I mean, I don't run one.
Yeah, Charles Ponzi was an Italian swindler and con artist. He became known in the early 1920s as a swindler in North America for his money-making scheme. I don't think in education, paying for your education is a Ponzi scheme.
Well, I believe a Ponzi scheme builds on itself. So, like, you're getting money from new people who buy in and it's getting passed over to old people who have bought in, and then the new people bring in more people, and then they get their money, and then the new people bring in more people, and they get their money.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Right. First of all, it's not sustainable, because at some point you're going to run out of people to bring in, which is why they all ultimately fall apart. But, yeah, it's a little bit different than what he is saying.
You know, I tried to look back and remember my first interview with Nuke Hopkins. I was the first guy to interview him when he graduated Clemson, or when he left Clemson to turn pro early. And I don't remember that interview with him having any animosity towards Clemson. I really don't. It's not, maybe it did. Maybe he did have it and I just missed it. I may try to dig up that interview and run it here on the show tomorrow for you. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure offering a service for a cost, and that service being getting your college education, does not quantify as being a Ponzi scheme. And I've always thought Nuke Hopkins was a great ambassador for Clemson. And I get it, man. Your family's eating ramen noodles, and you got a chance to make millions of dollars. Go get it.
I am curious about the debt that he took in while in college. I would be curious to see that.
Maybe he just meant in terms of the family not doing any better, even though he was delivering. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Not the best look, though. A lot of people weren't excited to hear Nuke Hopkins saying that earlier today. Lowell, the producer extraordinaire, will be digging into the College Sports Corner for you right here on the show that shakes the Southland when we return.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place, just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Attention, anyone who's suffering from lower back pain. Right now, HealthSource is offering our listeners an absolutely free back pain consultation on a first-come, first-served basis by calling 803-218-9047. Our doctors can find the root cause of your lower back pain and show you how to get well fast and stay well longer. No more pain, no more feeling worn out. Essentially, no more not feeling like yourself. Call 803-218-9047. When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Now today's forecast from the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer Weather Center.
Tonight, plenty of clouds with rain picking up after midnight with lows in the upper 40s. Tomorrow, rain early, then quieting down as the day goes on and highs in the upper 50s. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia is your pre-owned and certified one-stop shop.
Over 700 vehicles, every make and model to choose, all on sale.
Plus buy certifieds with special financing rates and a 100,000-mile warranty, plus our family plan.
Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Follow Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Now more of Clemson Sports Talk. Take it away, Dad.
Clemson Sports Talk, Lawton Swan, Lowell, the producer. Again, thank you to Sam Blackman for joining us via the DNC Trucking and Transport guest line. Text line is 803-450-0086. It's brought to you by the Ocean Reef Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And the phone lines are open if you want to be a part of it, 803-978-1832. And our chat room is over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Speedy's on the line with us tonight. Speedy, what's going on? Oh, let down. Just a big letdown, Lowell. That's what that is. You go to punch up Speedy and you get nothing. Man, talk about just feelings in general. Just down in the dumps now. You know what I really needed was more like walking away music for the end of the movie or the end of The Incredible Hulk. You know what I mean? That's what I needed. No Speedy? You got me all ready to go for Speedy and there's no Speedy?
He was there and now he is gone.
The people wanted to hear Speedy. What have you done to the people, Lowell? You have upset the people, Lowell.
I apologize.
The people deserve better. So we're going to give them better. You know what better would be right about now, Lowell?
Would it be the College Sports Corner?
It would be. Brought to you by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac.
Clemson Sports Talk presents the College Sports Corner, brought to you by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. Just a short drive down I-26 at exit 145A in Orangeburg. Now, CST reporter Lawton Swan.
You know, I'm going to be honest, Lowell. I think somewhere deep in the heart of Texas, I could probably find that walking away music, but I'd have to. Your boy Swanee would really have to dig, I think, to find it. But I think we've got the walking away music.
We used to have it.
I know. Somebody came in here and messed with the boards. That's all I can tell you. I mean, the truth hurts, but that's the truth. Somebody messed with our boards one day while we weren't here. And since then, like, the walking away music's gone. I'm sad on the inside, Lowell, so I'm just gonna let it go and then pretend like it never happened. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna act like it never happened. Nonetheless, Lowell, the College Sports Corner, topic 1.
Well, in a recent Sports Illustrated story by Luke Wynn titled Operation Stolen Base, former Crimson Tide players Marquise Johnson and Terrence Cody are among a group of players named to allegedly receive cash for signing Alabama memorabilia. In the story, Wynn writes about the connection between Cliff
good luck
Panizich and Adam Bollinger, who sold signed sports memorabilia, and how they spent time around the 2009 Alabama team during the school's winter break.
Do you remember, you might be too young to remember this, but there was this whole T-Town men's store or something in the mall where this stuff was going on a few years later after this, and they no. Didn't happen. Now, Greg McElroy found himself in a very awkward position because McElroy, of course, is a radio show host in the morning on Sirius XM along with Taylor Zarzer, and obviously had to be asked about this when he was named in it. He says he never got money for it.
Doesn't mean somebody wasn't selling it.
Take that for data.
Exactly.
But he just never got the money.
Yeah, but apparently maybe
sounds like a Ponzi scheme.
Some of these, I think that might be what it is. All right, Lowell, topic number 2.
Well, you remember the 2 guys on Last Chance U who were arrested and charged with homicide?
Yeah. The one of the stars.
Camion Patrick and Isaiah Wright.
Yeah, Isaiah Wright. Yeah, running back, good kid.
Well,
good kid in terms of football-wise.
Well, Camion Patrick's charge has been dismissed after a preliminary hearing.
Oh, no.
That's good for him.
Yeah. I got a bad feeling about Isaiah, though.
Well, Isaiah Wright's charges are still on the table, and they will go before a grand jury along with 2 other men charged in the homicide.
So there's more people involved, possibly?
There were 4 people connected. Well, there were. Now there's 3.
You know, it's funny because you start rooting for these kids, right? You watch the show and you kind of start rooting for these kids, and he had the concussion issue, and you're wanting to get better, and then something like this happens, and all of a sudden you're like taken aback. You know, this is again, this is not a mega star. This is not O.J. Simpson doing something like this, but it certainly, you go, wow, what kind of crazy world am I living in? I'd love to find out that he was just a bystander who got caught up in a bad moment, but I mean, what do you do, I mean, what do you do at this point but sit and wait? All right, Lowell, next topic, what you got?
My computer has gone down. That's the big topic.
All right. You can contact Dave Doran. I hear he's
he's got some laptops. We may be sort of back here. I have a little something. Police say Eastern Washington quarterback Gage Goober. God, I'm having trouble with names today.
Gage Goober?
Something like that. He was arrested and jailed briefly after he was intoxicated and cursing at law enforcement.
Who is he again?
Eastern Washington starting quarterback.
Have we hit that point in the college sports corner that we got to go Eastern Washington starting quarterback?
This was front page news.
Where, in Eastern Washington?
On ESPN, actually, the 4-letter network.
Did somebody tell them that they've got 4 games that feature 8 of the top 10 teams?
I don't think they did.
Do they not know what's on the docket?
They know that we're going to cover that.
Oh, so now it's our responsibility to deliver the news to the people. More so than it already was. How about this for news, Lowell? You want to take something for data here in the College Sports Corner by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac? Can I stay a little closer to home? How about the Clemson Tigers softball team signed their first ever player, standout pitcher, Logan, I think it's K-Mall, out of Buford, Georgia, becomes the first Clemson softball signee ever, inking her national letter of intent. She's a 3-time first-team All-State player in Georgia.
Nice.
She was Flow softball first-team All-American.
Don't know what that is, but sounds good.
Flow. No, it would be Flow softball. Okay. She was a GADC and a GHSA 5A state pitcher of the year.
That all seems very good for a new softball program.
Yeah, it's a lot of acronyms too. I'm not even sure what the GADC.
Well, GA is obviously Georgia.
District of Columbia, GHSA, softball, Georgia Softball Association, Georgia High School Softball Association.
That's what I figured. Yes.
I think Logan is a pretty good softball player. We're back. Final segment.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
ColumbiaHelpWanted.com presents The World's Worst Boss, the one who posts jobs on huge national job sites, looking for anyone with a pulse. We'll just call him Dave.
Team, it's time for performance reviews again. This year, we're doing them like those roasts you see on TV. Hey, Tom, can you hear me? Of course you can. Your ears are freakishly large, but I guess they draw attention away from your ridiculous nose. Brenda, those tuna sandwiches you eat for lunch are stinky, but not half as stinky as your breath.
What? Dave, I think this is a bad idea.
I'll tell you what's a bad idea, Barry. Those pants, am I right?
I think I'm done here.
Wait, I still got more. Has anyone noticed how Johnson's wife looks like his mom, only older and less attractive? Oh man, this stuff is gold.
Don't work for a Dave. Find a boss you can respect. One who's looking for great and local talent at ColumbiaHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
We don't discriminate against people named Dave. Dave is a common name, fun to say, and so we're using it as a catch-all for lackluster bosses everywhere. They post jobs on the big national job boards because they really don't care. Please do not write us to tell us you're a Dave who was insulted by this ad. That would be a real Dave move, Dave.
Don't just survive the holidays. Slay the season with buy one, get one half off GNC Sports Performance products. Fuel stronger workouts with GNC Amp Waybolic Protein. It's clinically proven to increase strength. GNC Amp Ripped VitaPack burns more calories, and Performix Iridium SSTI delivers explosive energy for every workout. Save today with buy one, get one half off GNC Sports Performance. Hustle to GNC or GNC.com. Sale ends November 22nd. Slay the season, only at GNC. Live well.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the Clemson Tigers, winners of the 2017 National Championship game.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio 1400, the iHeart Radio app. Speedy, allegedly, I think, back with us here tonight. We lost him earlier. We'll see if we got him now. Speedy, what's up?
What's up, man? It's the weather out here is kind of a little nasty, but thank God, we got the best weather in the state. So I'm not having no complaints. It's good to feel winter and good to have an hour extra sleep.
I liked the brisk air today. I liked it.
It makes it feel like it's really natural football weather.
Good point.
Instead of all that muggy, hot, sticky, hot weather like we going Daytona Beach or somewhere, But I'm sitting here watching the football game over the weekend. The coach for NC State, personally, needs to be fired. He don't need to be coaching the North Carolina Wolfpack. He lost one last year against Clemson. Your field goal kicker was a disaster last year.
Yep.
Y'all should send that kicker a Christmas card every year from now on, for missing not one but 3 field goals.
Yep.
Then he gonna do it at home, stink up the joint again. I told all of these Wolfpack fans out there, there's out in the sports bar and everything. I said, you know what? Your coach tried to keep that 21-17. You cannot keep a dual threat, explosive offense like Clemson. You can't keep the score. You got to continue pounding them with more points and more points, more points. They took their feet off the gas going in the fourth quarter. They started getting intense. The defense started to get tired from the NC State side of it. And then all of a sudden, once Clemson scored, then that's when they came up to score. And then on the 4th and 1, on the 50-yard line, this coach is probably more conservative than the average person who got plenty of money and don't like to spend it. He gonna sit there. He gonna kick the ball back to y'all, thinking he gonna get ball control right on y'all 10 or 5-yard line. And what happened? Y'all offensive line had a burst because that defense was so gassed, so tired. Y'all offensive line made a hole so big that my grandmother could have run through that hole. And look what happened. Your running back scored 90 yards, 95 yards the middle. That was the end of the game. And that's what happened. Coaches lose football games just as much as athletes lose it. So you got to put the blame on the coach, and he's that type of coach. He's about as fluky and kooky than Will Muschamp. So I give you an example. Take away the Georgia game. They came out getting an offside kick. We get the ball. We try to capitalize on the field goal. You know you got a walk-on, not a scholarship football athlete. You got a walk-on. I mean, anybody could come to Kim Island and just walk on. You ain't got to be really athletic. Just walk on and make the team. So he missed the field goal. Then you get a turnover on your defense, down on the 20. Then you didn't score no points. You got to have – Bentley is not a dual-threat quarterback. And when you look at this Florida Gators game, it's going to look ugly. You don't know. I think Burns High School could score more points than both of these schools. It's just that bad. So we have a problem with quarterback, and we still have a problem with offensive line problems since Steve Spurrier.
You guys are going to win, though, right? Speedy, Gamecocks are going to win, right?
Let me tell you like this. Me watching this game, you got to bring a heart surgeon because I had to hold my breath. This game is not even worth watching. It could go anywhere. It could be toss-up. It could be Florida Gators 13, or it could be Carolina 10 or 17. Ain't never one of these football teams could score more than over 25 points.
Wow.
It's just bad. I probably get an edge to Florida because they do have a little bit of dual threat on special teams, kicking game. When it comes to their defense, a little bit more physical. But their offense, if Carolina defense pretty good. But other than that, it comes down to who wants it the most and who gonna turn the ball over the most. So it could be a toss-up. I'll probably give him a pick 'em.
Well,
I got to hold my breath.
Hey,
It's just really, really bad. I mean, it's bad and sad to be a Gamecock. I'm 53 years old. Swanee. I just want to see Carolina do better, win the SEC before I at least go to heaven or something. Because my daughter will live here to see it. I won't live to see it. This team, 150 years of college football, and we can't even come close of a national championship. It's a disaster, and I'm going to support that garlic and black. But Will Muschamp is always going to be a chump until he wins an SEC title. That's all I got to say, and have mercy on my Gamecocks.
There you go, Speedy. Man, big Gamecock in the building. Yeah, some people would listen to that and go, Swanee, is that a plant? Is that a tiger that calls up? No. Speedy's a tried and true Gamecock fan, but he wants to win. He's frustrated with where the Gamecocks are. The thing about what happened with Florida last week in Missouri, what blows my mind more than anything, it's effort, right? Defensively, Randy Shannon, you can't get housed that way. That's effort. Florida's got talented guys defensively. They may not be the most adept offense in college football, but they have defenders. They didn't look like it. It looked like they were playing that Olay defense. And by the way, maybe one of the more telling statistics, and again, you can head over to ClemsonSportsTalk.com right now for the last look. It's a premium article. You can get in on that for, I think, $199 right now, or $49.95 for the entire year. Florida State, if I just ask people, what do you think their turnover ratio is? Knowing their defense, right? Question, Lowell. Did DeAndre Francois play defense for Florida State?
He did not.
So if Florida State is playing a game, defensively you would believe that missing Francois would not overly change your defense's results. correct?
Right.
It could certainly affect your offense's results. Florida State is -10 on turnover margin right now. -10. Let me give you a little clue. That ain't about one guy being missing. Sure. Are the turnovers that they have up? Yeah, they are. But right now, defensively, wouldn't you believe Florida State should be better in the takeaway department than they are, which I think they have 6 all season?
One would think.
You would think. We'll talk about it again tomorrow. For Lowell, the producer, I'm Lawton Swan. We'll be back at 6 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Radio. Until then, as always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
Love it raw? For the freshest